Hi, my name's Charlie King. I'm with Heroic Fatherhood, and welcome to your Mentor's Moment. In today's question, a dad asks, I just got married and my new wife has a son from her first marriage. What does a good stepfather-son relationship look like? Ooh, this is such a great question. And I want to share with you that it is perfect for our entrepreneur brains to be facing an issue like this because there's no rule book. There's no guide and there's no map. And here's the best news. There's no guidebook necessary. There's no map necessary. There's no brochure that's going to tell you how to do it because it's no different than parenting. It's no different than parenting at all. We have to make it up as we go along. We get to learn from our mistakes and we get to see what works and do more of that and see what doesn't work and don't do any more of that. This is like all our skills as entrepreneurs come beautifully into play as parents, as dads, right? So what we get to do is take a look. Now, so a relationship with a stepchild is generally, on a meta scale, no different than a relationship with your blood child, right? There's no handbook. We have to figure out what works in our relationships for us. We have to figure out what works, and a healthy relationship between a stepfather and a stepson looks like a healthy relationship with a father and son, right? There's some really basic tenets, but how you two make it up is going to be up to you. And so this is really great. This is a conversation about co-creating relationships. We do this all the time as entrepreneurs, whether we're partnering with clients, prospective prospects, businesses. A lot of it is about relationship building. So this is a skill that to a certain extent you already have in your toolbook. So you're going to be creating a relationship together. And part of that is starting to get to know each other, right? One of the things that you want to make sure is to distinguish the fact that we're having a conversation about a stepfather-stepson relationship. So there is a male-to-male relationship. And if it's a grown child especially, this is going to be some key pieces that are really going to support you in getting into a relationship with them early on and being able to foster that and sort of tend a garden of a fire, right? Like giving it enough time, giving it enough fuel, working on it together. So there's some very basic tenets of male-to-male relationships, which we do naturally with other grown men, but work equally as well with young men as well, whether that's a boy of 8, a boy of 12, a young man of 14, 16, 18. There's a lot we can do in here. So remember, what a positive relationship looks like in male-to-male is, first of all and foremost, respect. Respect. Men resonate with respect, and we have a radar when we feel like we're not being respected. When we feel like we're being talked down to or not taken seriously, we absolutely know it, and it's the first thing that'll shut us down. If you've ever been in a relationship where you felt like there was a top-down relationship with another man that you're in a relationship with, it's very often that you pulled back from it and that you didn't engage, or you stepped away, or maybe it even set you off. But it is not something that would invite you in to be a part of it. Part of inviting another man into your life, whether it's a young man or it's an adult male, is mutual respect. It's actually giving them the benefit of the doubt and really inviting them to share their perspective and listen to each other. Now, I want to talk a little bit about listening, because there's this distinction called active listening. And what active listening is an incredibly powerful tool for parents and business folks alike. Active listening is listening for the story that's going on beyond the story. See, people really like to talk about themselves, and that includes us as entrepreneurs, that includes us as dads, or in this case, as stepdads. We want to make sure that we close our mouth and open our ears, because the more we're willing to actively listen to the young man that we're in relationship, or the client we're in relationship, or the prospective business in relationship with, the more likely they are going to be telling us what they need and how we can help. So it's super important that we use active listening, which is closing our mouth, opening our ears, listening for what's going on, listening for what's missing for them, what the gap is, or how we can support them. That is a huge positive tool that you can provide. Also, there's this piece about hearing another man's story, hearing another man's truth about who he is in the world, or his experience of how things are going for him in the world. This is also a super powerful tool. And for as many times as young men in their teens, even kids as young as 8, and even into adulthood, feel like they're not heard, being willing to sit and hear another man's story can be super powerful for both you and for them. The last piece is around co-creating or making up together what a good relationship would be. A good relationship includes both of you doing things that you think are meaningful, things that are fun, and that you look forward to. There are going to be plenty of times that you conflict, because that's just the way of relationships sometimes, especially when you are in a parenting type role and you're in relationship with his mother. But creating a relationship where you enjoy each other's company and you do things together is going to be really critical. So start to explore together, like, what are the kinds of things that he likes? Does he like to read? If so, what kind of books? Does that line up with what you like to do? Does he like to go out and hike? Does he like to geocache? Does he like online gaming or learning about history or going to state monuments or whatever the thing is? But start to explore that together. And if you don't know what any of them are, start inviting him to different things that you could do together and see what seems to resonate. This is all about relationship building. It doesn't happen overnight, but it can be so worth the investment. What you invest in now, you'll be harvesting for the rest of your life. That's about all I have the time for today. This was such a great question. I could do it all day long. Thank you so much for your question, and keep the questions coming. We are loving answering your questions. And if you're watching this video, I have a question for you. What questions do you have for us? Put them in the comments down below. And how would you have answered or addressed this dad's issue? And lastly, if you're appreciating these videos or you want to see any of the other videos and keep up to date on all the videos that we're putting them out super regularly, you should go to the Heroic Fatherhood YouTube channel and subscribe. When you subscribe and turn your notifications on by hitting that little bell, you'll be notified every time we put up a new video, and you won't miss a bit of our content. My name's Charlie King. This has been Heroic Fatherhood and the Mentor's Moment. And lastly, remember, we become better men by spending time with good men. Have a great day.